Hi there. As usual, not quite sure what I have to share. Um, so let's find out together. I want to look at something. Um, None of us is perfect. And I think a lot of what life is sorting through our beliefs, sorting through what's presented to us, and trying to come out with the very best and brightest and living by that. And hopefully we're on an ascending spiral, headed back home, home in consciousness, home into the light, and whatever's beyond, because light's not the only thing that is. But anyway, I've been accused of being a teacher, and I have really resisted that. And the reason has a good deal to do with the who am I or what am I question. Because I'm so very aware that what speaks here isn't the outer consciousness of the one called Teresa Ann. It's not someone else. It's just another aspect, a higher aspect of this being that I am. And clearly and apparently, I'm not used to identifying with that. So I have resisted the appellation teacher. Maybe that's gotten a little ridiculous. I don't know, folks. I'm just here exploring it. How many of you have been to Mooji's recordings? You don't even have to leave my site. I've got a playlist with over 30 short videos from Mooji where you can drink from that cup. And I think he's the best guide that I have found to take you into the awareness that you're not there. That at the very least, you're not who and what you thought you are, were, am, whatever. When we observe, and a big key to what is taught here, still not ready to say what I teach, is observing. Going into heart is key, it's critical. But the skill of observing is paramount, because we watch. As we're going into heart, we begin to realize we're not the actor. In a way, I guess we're the actee. This is where, let's see, Eckhart Tolle, he's not the first to have said it, but he talks about being danced. I used to be very comfortable saying, I'm not a human having a spiritual experience. I'm a spirit having a human experience. And see, that's another one of those beliefs that we accept for a while, and it works. It resonates with us. And as long as it resonates, that's grand. And we live with it, by it, through it, and that's fine. But at a certain point, I found that didn't work anymore either, because I can no longer, with all accuracy and integrity, say that I am the spirit that inhabits this body. I have discovered that the reality is much greater than that, and I contain the body. Are you in heart? It's probably more accurate to say I am the space. I don't know. I mean, this I am thing is really about as deep as it gets. And so that's why Mooji is such an excellent guide. You can go and you can watch him and be in heart, and when you're in heart and you're watching or listening to someone, to a good teacher, you're taken along for the journey. And you can have that experience too. Everything is one. You're Mooji, you're me, I'm you. I've had the experience for decades of writing in my journals, which up until just last year had always been private. You know, I mean, journals, diaries. It's bizarre that I'm doing this online, okay? But anyway, um, even though they had not been anything I shared with anyone, still in my writing, I would find myself talking to the reader. And that was very strange. That's all I can say, you know, but it took some time and it would happen often enough. And I knew when it was happening that I was really in flow. I could recognize that. And so finally, I just decided the answer is I don't know. And I went on, you know. And I learned more and more, don't let yourself be bugged by things. If you don't know, you don't know. And it's not going to do you any good to beat yourself up over it or try to figure it out or whatever. You know, play the mind game is pointless anyway. So, am I a teacher? Teaching comes through. I don't know, maybe I have some work to do before incorporating a higher self into my identity to where I can say I and mean that. I really don't know. And see, I thought maybe I could come to resolution with this. That's what journaling does. So often, you know, you can struggle with something as long as you like and chase your tail around and get nowhere and sit down to journal it. It's been my experience, and in a very short time, you can have real revelation come through. And there's no explaining it. Just like writing to a non-existent, invisible audience over the years in my journals. I would be writing even 20 years ago, and I would be sensing response from those who were reading or witnessing the journal in some way. And you can't stay in your mind with things like that, or you're liable to go off the deep end. I mean, it's just pointless. And so it just helped me more and more go into heart. Because in heart, that's where paradox lives and reigns supreme. You're fine with paradox. You're fine with things that don't seem to make sense, because making sense to the mind is really a rather small affair. A heart has deeper and vaster understandings by far than mind can even conceive. And so, you know, heart's a better place to be, especially if you're an adventurer and an explorer. So, have I gotten where I need to be with this? Darn. I was really hoping to come to some kind of a better resolution and an understanding. I don't know. I don't know. I guess still at this point I have to say teaching flows through, because I hope you know, folks, that I'm being spoken to by these words just as often as you. And I know that pretzels the mind, but I don't care. See, for me, that's a delight. For me, that's a benefit and a plus, because so often if you can pretzel the mind, which is what a Zen koan is for, you can have that moment where the mind kind of goes offline in a way. And you can enter infinity there. And there aren't words, but you can feel it. Guess that's all I have to share. Talk to you soon.